Hi there, Marina. I hope you're doing well. I'm the one who commented on your video saying that there's more to trauma than what you explained in your video. The video that's titled, now I'm translating this because for some silly reason, my YouTube decided to translate the title in French. So it's titled Trauma is a Lie and Therapy Keeps You Stuck in a Loop. I think that's the English title, something along those lines. Probably. I'm pretty sure I saw the word loop this morning when I checked it. So this is actually an answer to your comment. I am going to read out the actual comment that I've posted, and I said some good points are made here, but this is still not the full picture. I don't know where you poured your money to come to this conclusion about trauma, but you're still not quite on the right path. So that comment is actually quite short. I hate typing very long comments, but I decided to go ahead after you replied to write a longer comment because I knew that there was more to the information that you got. And I want to make sure that people have the whole picture. Just in case you just didn't get the information that I've learned, I want you to know it, okay? So I decided to make this video, which is not the video that I'm talking about in my second comment here. But first I'm going to read out for people who don't know what you responded, if they watch this video so they understand exactly where I'm getting at. So the response that you said is, thank you for your omniscient evaluation. Now, I'm French Canadian. As you've noticed, I showed you that I'm French because my YouTube translates everything in French. So if I mispronounce something like omniscient, I think that's the pronunciation, I'm French. So thank you for your omniscient evaluation. I know that the word actually means all-knowing. So basically you're calling me a know-it-all. And I'm not. I'm just like everybody who's trying to learn, who's trying to figure things out. And interestingly enough, I am taking classes. I am moving forward. I am reading books. I am informing myself. And I just want to add to your video here. So I'm not omniscient, okay? Next time, please include coordinates for the right path you seem to know so well. And interesting how your first instinct is to mention money. Speaks volume for someone who is selling health coaching. Okay, so my response to that is I will post my message about this within the next few days, and I am going to post it later. So this video is not actually the video that I'm talking about in this comment. This is something that I've added because I want to add more information than what's in the other video because it won't fully respond to your video properly. So I say I will post my message within the next few days. I will let you know when it is up. It talks about something that medical practitioners generally know nothing about. Plus, the purpose of asking you where you spent your money is to know where you got your information, because it's actually really important in order to understand what you do know. The stuff that you talk about in your video leads me to believe that you did not learn the things that I can talk about. So I would like to extend a hand and to teach you the stuff that I've learned so that you can make a decision by yourself. I am a health coach. Yes, that's true. I am going to be making money from the coaching that I'm going to give, just the same way that you're making money from these videos. So now I continued my comment, and I'm going to say this as well. I'm the first one to say that medical practitioners don't know a lot about trauma. Now, you seem to be saying that everything that is out there is automatically a lie because it's all about childhood programming. I'm going to add something that you did not mention. So first off, I'm going to talk about, you mentioned that practitioners generally try to get you to contact your inner child. That's true. What is the method that is the most commonly used in order to get in touch with your inner child? It's hypnosis. So here is what I am going to tell you about trauma that I didn't see in your video at all. Trauma, the real definition of trauma, the ones that most practitioners are not aware of, is that it is a total disconnection from your emotions and from your nervous system. So it's literally like if you went here and you just cut this off from the rest of the body. So your nervous system still works, but it works by itself. It is also, the second part that is super important to mention, trauma is actually a very, very hyper-vigilance and hypersensitive response to your environment. That's basically what it is. People who have suffered from trauma actually have suffered from something that really made their body go into excessive stress, up to the point where the body now thinks that the world is a dangerous place. So the nervous system remains very sensitive. So a person who suffered from trauma gets like these really major spikes of stress. Now, this you might already know about, but I'm explaining for anybody who doesn't understand this. So it's a very, very high spike of stress for things that most people would actually be able to handle pretty damn well without all that excess stress. But a person who has trauma can get overwhelmed easily because everything seems way too difficult to solve, way too difficult to take care of. All of a sudden, we become hyper vigilant, we become hypersensitive, we become hyper emotional. So that makes our body get so charged up that we end up flopping into shutdown pretty easily. That's how our nervous system works. So trauma survivors generally have defense mechanisms that are built in that make our body take over. So our mind, no matter what you do with your mind, it won't work. Now, what is hypnosis? Now I'm going back to hypnosis. The inner child connection that we're supposed to do is generally done through hypnosis. So the definition of hypnosis is to disconnect your conscious from your unconscious mind in order to have somebody talk to your unconscious and plant seeds in there in order to help you grow and heal from whatever it is that needs to be healed. Now, in a healthy person, that can work. And it generally does for a lot of people. Even those who believe that they are not able to heal with hypnosis generally get some sort of benefit out of it. For a person who suffered from trauma, the thing is we're already partially disconnected in our body. So when we do hypnosis, it encourages even more disconnection. But a person with trauma needs to reconnect parts of their body. Like I said, our mind and our body are disconnected. So what happens when you disconnect the conscious and the unconscious is that you're reinforcing more disconnection. And that's why it backfires. That's why it doesn't work. Talk therapy is the same thing. You're all stuck in your head. So traditional therapists don't work for people who have suffered from trauma because you're all up in your head. And what you need when you suffer from trauma is to reconnect to the body in order to reconnect with the nervous system and learn how to deal with it. That's what I didn't hear in your message. I totally agree with you that the nervous system, the neurological pathways. This is what you talk about. You talk about, I'm going to use Greg Braden's theory here of neurons that wire together, fire together. You explained it very well. That actually helps alleviate stress. It really does. There is a big part of that helps people who have suffered from trauma because at the very least they are reducing the anxiety. Rewiring our brain helps. I fully agree with that. It's not the whole story because we also need to reconnect with our nervous system and our emotions. We've stopped feeling our emotions. So basically, the proper way to reconnect with the inner child is by reconnecting with the emotions of the child while doing a meditation that keeps you grounded in your body. That's the proper way of doing it. So, in order to be able to heal, we have to have a full body experience where we are still feeling the place that we're sitting on. Like, well, right now I'm sitting on my bed or the chair or whatever it is that you are actually using. At that point, if you're lying on the ground, whatever, you feel the space that's around you. You feel your body. You wiggle your toes. You move around a little bit and you get connected with your body, and you get connected with the emotions in order to bring them out and to heal them. Now, the other comment that you made that actually I need to address is that you say that these people, these coaches and therapists and those who claim to be able to heal you from your trauma state that in order to, after healing one issue, they replace it with another to keep you as a client. The thing that is very important to mention here is that if you've suffered from abuse when you're a child, you rarely have just one wound. You normally have more than one. That is actually quite common, and the vast majority of those who have suffered from abuse have more than one wound. I'm living proof of that. I don't know what you've gone through, but I can tell you that there are a lot of things that my parents have done to me that I need to heal. Of course, there's going to be many steps. Of course, there's going to be many types of therapies involved because I have a lot of wounds. So it's not a question of replacing it with something else that needs to be worked on. It's a question of I need to keep on digging in order to find all the little wounds in order to get rid of them. I need to heal them. So the first one for me was I don't feel like if there's anybody that I can talk to who's safe in my environment. I have such a difficult time trusting people. And it's because my childhood neurological wiring, which you talk about so well, was that I cannot trust people in general because I could not trust my parents. My parents were emotionally unavailable, and my mom was even verbally abusive with me. So to me, people are me. So my wiring made me always ask for help from people who did not help me at all, or who gave me the wrong type of help, which reinforced my childhood programming. So what I needed to do, and this is a method, Dr. Claire Zammit has an excellent method in order to help get rid of that dreadful childhood wiring that keeps you stuck. And she does it quickly enough so that you can actually get through all those blockages quickly enough that you don't end up depending on her for the rest of your life. Believe me, Dr. Claire Zammit is one of those methods that pushes you out of it quickly if you can handle it. It depends on the person. Some people with trauma need slow healing. They need the slow healing that comes from people like Dr. Amy Apigian. Okay? Dr. Amy Apigian has the slow method that some people actually need. That being said, her slow method also makes sure that you don't depend on her for life, even if it takes several years. It can take up to 3 years. She's totally honest about it. She's like, yes, if it's done correctly, if you work on yourself properly, you will eventually stop buying her services. Dr. Claire Zammit too. She just does it in a much faster way, albeit she doesn't have all the knowledge about trauma in order to make sure that you don't re-traumatize yourself by getting into overwhelm and then shutting down again. So for her, I would make a video eventually. I will make a video, I should say, eventually, that explains the little details that we just need to add to her method to make it just suitable for people with trauma. Now, back to what you were saying, it's not about just digging to find new ones and replacing them so you're a permanent customer. It's like I said, we typically have more than one. So I've asked the wrong people for help. So it reinforced the idea that people are untrustworthy in my unconscious. And I ended up just not trusting people anymore. So now my path, like I said, I took Dr. Claire Zamit's course, and I ended up getting rid of that block in one weekend. It cost me about $100 US. Now, I don't know how often she's going to offer that, and I'm not even sure she's going to offer that again. But she offered one crash course of one weekend of one of her longer courses. She like summarized it really quickly into one weekend course. Didn't cost too much, and I healed one of my blockages in one weekend for about $100. Does that sound like a money hungry beep? Beep beep. No, she's not. The stuff that she teaches works well, and pushes you in the right direction quickly. So the second one that I know that I'm going to have to heal is to actually start being able to see the world as abundant enough for me to be able to earn I was going to say powerful, not powerful, but enough money to sustain myself properly. I've been poor for the vast majority of my adult life. And as you can see, this is my bed. That's my fridge. That's how small my space is. My fridge is right there. My sink is right there. The door is there. I have my closet there. I have my cupboard there. That's my space. I live in a tiny little 10 by 10 cubicle, cubby hole. And I want to get out of this because I have that the world doesn't have enough for me mentality that's programmed. And I get it. It is a programming. You're right. It's programmed into my unconscious. But as a survivor of trauma, I also have my nervous system that gets very sensitive if I do anything that gets me towards my goals. I know I can do this. I know I can be a great coach, but you have no idea how much this is costing me to do the work that I need to do in order to be able to get my message out. I'm actually still surprised that I'm able to talk clearly enough to be able to get this video out to you, because that's another one of the blockages that I need to get out. Another one that I need to work on. I have to be able to stand up for my rights. Whenever I needed something from my mother, I didn't get it. I didn't get a lot of the things that I needed from my mother on a psychological level. So to be able to get my rights respected is super difficult for me. I am actually in a right in the middle of a lawsuit, and it's because I need to have my rights respected. And there's I started the first session has taken place on May 29th. There's going to be another session on August 22nd. Hopefully that's going to be the last one. But you have no idea how stressed I was. I was so excessively stressed and scared. My body nearly shut down during the session in front of the judge. I thought I was going to faint because I was hyperventilating. I was not able to focus. I made stupid mistakes. That was before the Claire Summit weekend, though. So hopefully this is going to help me to be able to keep on going in August. But my body nearly shut down. So that's another one of the things that I need to work on. I have such a difficult time to ask for my rights to be respected because my mom did not respect my personal boundaries as a kid. So I've grown up as an adult who had no boundaries and who did not understand where the people's boundaries were. So these three things are just the three that I've managed to come up with so far. And even though I get you don't want people to keep on finding new things to heal in you just because they want to make money off of you. Like, I get there is such a thing as that in the world. Don't get me wrong. I know that exists. Believe me, that is actually the whole basis of a lot of the medications that are created by pharmaceutical companies. They are insufficient and they make you stay as a customer for life. I've heard that many times. And believe me, I've been to therapists, I've been to 2 psychologists and 2 psychiatrists. Nobody has been able to help me out. The medication that I've taken never helped me out. Obviously, medication doesn't help trauma. It's your nervous system that needs to be worked on. So obviously, medication is useless. But just so you know, the medical establishment is not that defective. I just went to the drugstore because yesterday night I sprained my ankle. Look how bad this is. I mean, my foot is swollen. I hope that you can see it. It's bruised. It's blue. Yeah, you can see the blue properly here. So just so you can compare your 2 ankles. Oops, can't really see it that well. Anyways, whatever. My ankle's bruised. And what did I get as medication for it? The pharmacist just gave me this $10 cream. $10 Canadian. Not even US. $10 Canadian, which is worth about 6-ish American right now. It's an anti-inflammatory cream. That's all it cost me. And this is a pharmacist. Therefore, he's not covered by the medical care system for his services. Need I point that out? That's all he did. He just sold a little cheap product to help me on my way. He was instructed and formed by the medical establishment. He went to the same universities as doctors generally do. And that's all he sold me. Does he sound like a money-hungry bass beep? No, that doesn't sound like a money-hungry. So, yeah, I'm censoring myself because I suck at video editing, so I'm just going to censor myself anyway. So, this is my answer to your comment. I'm just telling you that not everybody is money hungry just because they're earning money in order to help you heal. It's because some people need help. Some people actually do need help. That's why there are coaches out there. I know that it's hard to find the right coach. I know it's hard to find the right therapist. A lot of them don't know about polyvagal theory, for instance, which is the theory that I read on in order to understand the nervous system. It's called polyvagal theory. They don't teach that in universities. They just don't. The ones who taught that on YouTube and on social media networks in general are the ones who have dug into research that is not taught in universities, that is not published, it's not mainstream. They've taken the time to go into those dusty little sections in the libraries and read. They sat down and read. Or, well, nowadays it's online too, but I know some of these people started long before the internet existed. So Dr. Peter Levine, Dr. Ariel Schwartz, Dr. Amy Apigian, and Dr. Nicole LaPera all give great information on this. And you can either go to the library and get their books, go online on their social media networks and watch their videos. It's all there for free. And they explain this really well, but it's not mainstream because, well, the money hungry would be mad because they wouldn't make money selling drugs and keeping you as a customer. So just to give you an idea, just to make you feel even more comfortable with the idea that I'm reaching out to you, I'm even going to offer you my starter pack. I have a starter pack and you don't need to do anything else but download it. I'm actually just going to put it in the description of this video. You just click on it and get my starter pack. How did I start healing from some of the things that needed to be healed. Well, as you've noticed, my title is the Holistic Coach because I understand that mind, body, and soul are all connected. And if you want to heal from something like trauma, you also need to heal your body and your soul, not just your psyche. So, my starter pack is about helping you get started without going into the psychology information. It's all the stuff that you can do yourself without having to spend hours watching webinars like I did. But it does help as well. So you get tips and tricks like what to do for your health habits. How do you eat, sleep, exercise, get some sun, hydrate, all the basics, plus the type of mentality changes that help. Plus, I also give you an overview of dream analysis because dream analysis is how you get your conscious and your unconscious to stay connected. Remember, I said people who suffered from trauma already have a disconnection, so hypnosis makes it worse, right? So, what is the opposite of hypnosis? It's analyzing your dream. Your dreams are your unconscious mind's way of telling you what's wrong. It gives you the childhood programming on a silver platter, except it gives it to you in a coded manner. That's the downside. So I will give you a quick example. For instance, if you dream about being in a house, the house represents your psyche. If your house has only one floor, bungalow, no cellar, no second floor, no attic, no nothing, it's literally just one floor, it means that your psyche's is telling you that the only information that you've dug through in your life in order to understand your unconscious mind is your actual conscious. So basically, you have only accessed the parts of your unconscious that your conscious is aware of. If you want to dig further, your mind is actually going to start, well, you kind of have to start thinking about it in your conscious mind, and eventually your unconscious is going to start catching on, and you'll start having bigger houses. Your house is going to start having a cellar. It's going to start having more floors. And that is your mind's way of telling you you're starting to dig in your unconscious. If you start dreaming about going into the cellar, into the basement, Canadians generally have a basement. I know that Americans don't always have cellars. They don't always have a basement. But Canadians generally do. So we understand the concept of basements just because, well, we all have one at home. But that idea of going down is you digging into your unconscious mind. The idea of going upwards. So if you dream about climbing up the stairs in a house, or your bedroom is upstairs, and then you spend quite a lot of time upstairs, that is your psyche telling you that you're digging into your higher self. So that's one example. Another one is if you dream of kittens. Kittens is, especially if they're happy and you are glad that they're with you, that's your unconscious telling you that something new has sprouted in your life and it's a good thing for you. Now, depending on the rest of the context of the dream, it means a variety of different things. So you look at the other symbols in the dream, and then you understand what that new little sprout is telling you about. So my starter pack actually gives a much more detailed list of like some of the most common symbols that we see in dreams and what they mean. So that actually helps you a lot as well to understand your unconscious. I'll give it to you for free. Normally people have to subscribe to my Substack in order to get that starter pack. I'm offering it to you for free. You can download it. You can tell me to F off if you feel like. I'm going to walk away after filming this and let you be. If you don't comment back. Or if you comment F off, I'll be like, okay, bye. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just offering you the information, and I hope that it helps you. okay? Because that's really what I want. I'm extending a hand with information, and I want to start a conversation if you're open to it. Let's start a conversation about whether or not there are trustworthy people in the medical establishment. Because I think that there are some. Just have to look. You have to ask questions. You have to know which questions to ask too. And if we can help each other, because you do have some great ideas. I do get the whole red pill movement, to tell you the truth. I used to be somebody who hated the medical establishment. I spent, I think, almost 2 decades not even visiting a doctor's office. And now I sometimes visit a doctor's office, but I'm picky about the doctor. My current GP will tell you first and foremost, before doing anything else, let your body heal first. How many GPs out there say that? I trust her because she's the type who's always saying, look, your body knows how to heal itself. So let's do this that is free, that does not include any purchases. Here's what you can do yourself at home to help your body heal itself. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Does that sound like a money hungry that wants you to stay sick all the time? No. That sounds exactly like the type who says your body can do most of the work if you assist it. Great. Now, do you start trusting the medical establishment a little bit more if you know where to look? Because, like I said, there are some of those efforts that you want to stay away from. The one who just opens up his prescription pad after you explain what's wrong with you and says, okay, take this, and sends you home and has nothing else to say. Okay, yeah, tell those guys to F off. I totally agree. My pharmacist just told me, well, you should have iced your ankle yesterday when you sprained it. But there's this that you can use today if you feel like it, and it's $10. And made in Quebec. This is a brand that's popular in Quebec, by the way. It's a trusted natural product in Quebec. Adrien Gagnon. But he scolded me for not icing my ankle. He did not want to tell me that. He told me right away, why didn't you ice your ankle? And I kind of started to feel a little bit smaller now. Like, didn't know if it needed it. He's like, just ice next time. I don't know about you, but that does not sound like money hungry beep beeps. I hope to hear back from you. And let's get this conversation started.